What is out of order in your life? This is something that has come up for me several times, and I just thought it would be so powerful to talk about it together. So we're going to dive into that today on the Holy Surrender podcast. Okay, friends, I've noticed significantly over time that the same thread of events happens when I am not quite going where God is calling me to go. And it looks like this. I embark on a path, and then God allows things to get out of hand. I feel overwhelmed. I feel stressed. I just can't handle it all. And suddenly I'm trying to do 20 things instead of 5 things. I can never get ahead. I'm drowning. And my husband says I'm drowning. And my friends notice that I'm not okay. And there are so many things that spiral out of control. And I start to feel anxious, stressed, depressed, overwhelmed, as I said before. All of these negative emotions. But I've noticed that whether it is truly that I'm trying to do too many things at once, or something is just out of order and God is calling me to think about things differently. Notice that this is happening. If you really feel this way, don't necessarily follow your impulses, but just take a second and say, okay, God, what is out of order? Because it should be God first. And then, of course, you need to take care of your personal needs. You need to feed yourself, shower, brush your teeth, take care of your personal needs. But then it's loving your spouse if you have a spouse. It's loving your children if you have children. And then worrying about the provision of where you are in life. Whether that's a house or an apartment or you're getting there, it doesn't matter. The provision that God has for you in your life. This is something I learned from A Mother's Rule of Life, which is a very beautiful book. And honestly, I think that even if you aren't married and have children, you could learn a lot from this book. But keeping those things in order is very important, that God is first. So if you feel called to do something, but you're not putting God where he rightfully belongs in the first spot in your life, then he might start highlighting to you that that's a problem. You are trying to be self-reliant. You are focusing on control, how you can control each situation and each moment. You are worried about what other people think of you or getting it perfect. So you're stuck in a rut and you won't do anything unless you know it can be perfect. And we all know that that is an impossible outcome and an unreasonable standard for you to hold for yourself. Whether it's any of these things or something else, he is highlighting to you that it is out of order. So, for example, Holy Surrender does not come before my family. My family comes before this, and God comes before that. So, if I am truly being attentive to God in each and every day, he is going to tell me what needs to be done. And if I am uber focused on getting these podcasts out or working on the magazine or doing something that is not rightly oriented, he will highlight it to me by helping me to recognize that there stirs chaos in my space when I don't do things the right way. So I have to withdraw and I have to say, okay, God, how does your day look like? Not how does my day look like, how does your day look? And he will say, focus on your kids, play with your kids. Or he'll send someone to come hang out and I will have the ability to get things done. Or I'll be able to do it supernaturally fast. There are just certain ways that he steps in when you allow him to and shows you his love in this incredible way. But you first need to recognize what is out of order. And trust me when I tell you, he will let you know. Because maybe it started with you taking on a certain task. When you took that on, your life got chaotic. That is not a fruit of the Spirit. So you need to ask yourself, is that really where God was calling you to work? Or was that something you felt the need to do or that you wanted to do, but this isn't the right time for it? A Mother's Rule of Life also has this really beautiful part where she talks about how she was a school teacher and she felt God calling her to quit so she could be home with her kids. And she ended up becoming a homeschool mom. But she said something so incredible, and it was that sometimes you have to give up good things for a higher good. And the higher good is God's plan. If it's not in the cards now, maybe it'll be in the cards later, or maybe it was never where you were supposed to be at all. But any way that dice rolls, any way that he calls you to be, know that he is using it to form you, or he's going to use this part of your story to help someone else come to know him. Even if it feels totally out of place, you might just encounter that one person one day that goes, oh my goodness, that happened to me too. What did you do about it? And that is where you get to share God's glory in it. I am putting together a template for this one of questions for you to ask God, because it's really hard to synthesize all of those things in 5 minutes. But the first thing is recognizing when there aren't the fruits of the Spirit in your life. When there's chaos and not peace, gentleness, kindness, patience, self-control, we need to recognize that something is out of order. And we need to draw back to God's heart, go there first, and see what he wants us to do. And then watch what happens when we realign the thing that he's asking us to realign, or we let go of the thing that we're not supposed to be doing but desperately want to do, or we relinquish the thing that we're trying to control that has nothing to do with our mission from the Lord. That is what I want you to focus on, is truly starting to recognize where we are not listening to God, and he is letting us know that this is not where he needs us to be, that align with his kingdom plans. When we want to really do what God is calling us to, he's gonna help us to recognize the difference between where we are working for his kingdom plan and when we are working for ourselves. So, what is out of order in your life? Identify those places of chaos, take them to the Lord in adoration, in your evening prayer, in your examination of conscience. Right now in this moment, if you have a few seconds, say, God, what is out of order, and how are you asking me to change this, to shift this, to bring it back to where it needs to be? All right, friends, that is it for today. I am looking forward to hearing how this helps you. It has drastically helped me in my life. Learn how to love the Lord, follow the Lord, and truly be obedient to what he's asking us. And I will catch you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Holy Surrender Podcast. The best way you can support our mission is to leave us a rating or review, or share this episode with a friend if it resonated with you and you think someone else wants to hear it. Or you can head over to www.holysurrender.com to check out our magazine, subscribe annually, or just get the current copy. In it, you'll find exclusive content related to this podcast, and also some activations, some practical step-by-step things, and more resources to help you carry on what we talk about here into your daily life so that you can continue to live a holy, surrendered life in Christ.